When cars first appeared, everyone knew that piston rings needed to be cleaned from time to time. Fuel burned much worse then than it does now. Varnishes and sludge quickly formed on the surface of the parts. The oil was also so-so, or even worse. What happened to it in the engine? It oxidized on the cylinder walls, becoming a film, and then got into the piston grooves. The fuel combustion also produced soot, which mixed with the lubricating film. Over time, all of this turned into a single monolith, stable solid deposits that blocked the piston rings. Motorists fought against contamination by all means available at the time. They filled the engine with kerosene overnight, and later began to add solvents. Desperate motorists were not deterred by the risk of losing their car altogether, nor by the almost zero effectiveness of such compositions. However, nowadays owners also like to experiment to their detriment, and some have forgotten about engine decocking altogether, relying on additives in modern oils and conventionally high fuel standards. Since then, modern automotive chemistry has come a long way. However, it is still not omnipotent as some people think. That's why it's worth debunking the most popular myths about engine decocking. Modern engines do not need to be decocked. This is not true. Of course, the situation with fuel or lubrication has changed for the better over the past 10-15 years. Despite this, the problem of coking hasn't gone away. It's even gotten worse. Thanks to progress, the technology is more advanced, the gaps between the piston rings and grooves are smaller, and the system is more vulnerable. Even a thin layer of deposits causes the engine to malfunction. Over time, the deposits grow larger and the problems become more serious. Compression drop, hardening of the ignition, detonation, accelerated wear, and then a serious breakdown. If you don't want to spend money on a major overhaul, remember to have your engine decocked. Engine decocking is a universal cure for all ills. Undoubtedly, chemicals for decocking are effective, but they are far from the living water of folk tales. Engine decocking is primarily a repair and maintenance operation. It's like a checkup with a hygienist if you want to draw parallels with medicine. If there are problems with the cleanliness of the cylinders, chemistry will eliminate them. But if the engine is badly worn, no amount of decocking will help. Only disassembly and replacement of parts will do. The decocking procedure is the same for all engines. The principle is the same for all engines. However, there are different engines, inline, opposed, V-shaped, each has its own nuances, but the general rule is the same. If the cylinders are tilted, it is better to fill more fluid. I constantly use gasoline additives and flush the injectors with a liquid with a decocking effect. There is no need to do the decocking process. The most effective way to remove deposits is by immersion, that is, by pouring the decocking agent directly into the cylinders. So one does not interfere with the other, but there are nuances. It is sometimes difficult to get to the process holes. You need special tools and comfortable conditions. It is better not to carry out this procedure outdoors in the rain or snow. That's why it's worth combining engine cranking with a scheduled oil or spark plug change. After engine decocking, the machine always smokes heavily. The machine will smoke in any case, but not always strongly. There are technological recesses on the piston that retain liquid. In addition, the deposits are saturated with drug vapors and swell, preventing the liquid from seeping through further. This excess drug begins to burn when the engine is started after the procedure, turning into white smoke from the exhaust pipe. To reduce the smoke, you need to remove the remaining fluid in the cylinders. This can be done with the help of a tube and syringe that come with the decocking agent. If necessary, it can be extended with any plastic tube. If you leave liquid in the system, starting may be difficult and thick white smoke will last longer. There is no need to worry about the catalyst. The drug burns out gradually and without harm to it. After decocking, you can drive to a car service centre and change the oil there. In principle, you can. But a definitive answer to this question depends on how much oil you have in the system, what quality it is, how far you drive to the service station, at what speed, what the load on the car will be, etc. That's why it's better to change the oil right at the cash register, that is, immediately after decocking, rather than embarking on risky voyages. It will only get worse after decocking because the compression in the cylinders will drop. As a rule, old engines are literally overgrown with deposits. This causes the pistons and rings to wear out badly. If you carry out a decocking on such a car, you will find that over the years of operation, the parts have worn out quite a bit. That's why compression drops and starting becomes difficult. If the treatment of the engine with drugs did not produce good results, it means that the engine needs to be rebuilt. The engine won't start after decocking. During engine decocking, the cylinders are wetted with liquid. If they are not properly dried, the engine may not start after several attempts. Therefore, after the procedure, it is recommended to wipe the spark plugs dry and remove excess product from the cylinders. So, friends, be careful, follow the recommendations of experts, then your engine will delight you with quiet and flawless operation.